Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 66 of the San Marino Challenge. Now, today's episode, as you can tell from the title, we're going to be versing Bayern Munich in the second leg of the first knockout round. And let's just say we have an advantage going into this home leg, which I'm feeling positive about. However, recent form has not been too good. We've also suffered our first defeat in Serie A, and we're also knocked out of the TM Cup. But we'll get into that in a second. First of all, we do have one bit of transfer news to go over. Unfortunately, we have sold Armand Kozic to Guangzhou Evergrande. It was a hard decision to make, but as you can see, they offered 25 million for him. I felt like we have a lot of depth in the midfield position, especially centre midfield, and I couldn't really reject that type of money, considering we got him on a free transfer. He wasn't even performing that well in Serie A this season. As you can see, he's played 20 games, only got the 3 assists, and then he's also under a 7 match rating, which is kind of weak for a player, in a team that, before, up until the point where he left, we had not lost the game in the league. So for him to have a rating that low is a little bit worrying. I am trying to sign this guy. We've had the offer accepted, and I'm offering him a contract now, as you can see. He's yet to accept it properly, but I think he will, because it's a pretty decent contract. As you can see, 17-year-old Italian. Hopefully he'll come in the next episode. It's not the next episode, but the next pre-season episode. But yeah, apart from that, there's one other thing I want to get into before we go into the recent fixtures, and that is our World Cup qualification group. Now, looking at it, there's no real team that stands out in this group. I'll read it out to you. We've got Armenia, Bulgaria, Denmark, Norway, and Romania. And just looking at it, I think it's probably the best opportunity that we'll ever probably get in terms of being able to actually qualify for the World Cup, because if you look at every other group, they have one or two super strong teams. And, I mean, the strongest team in our group is Denmark, who do have a really, really good team. But I don't feel like they're no Spain, they're no Italy or England, those types of teams. One of the real top-tier European teams. But anyway, it's going to be interesting. Hopefully we can pull an upset. Well, I mean, every victory or draw against a team like, any of these teams would probably be an upset. But I think Armenia is probably the team I think we can most get a result out of. But it's going to be fun. Probably going to get battered as well. Like I said, Denmark they have some world-class players, they do. They'll probably batter us. But yeah, let's get into the fixtures. Of course, the previous episode was the 2-1 victory in the Supercoppa. Disappointingly, we followed that up with 2-0 draws, the first of which came away to Atalanta. As you can see, Novi getting sent off there in the 89th minute. And then a home draw against Napoli as well. 0-0. Just couldn't find the back of the net. Champilat, he was the hero, well, somewhat of a hero in the cup. And then sort of had 2 bad games where he didn't really fire at all. I mean, a 6.3 and then a 6.4. I was a little bit worried. And then came the quarterfinal of the TAM Cup, and we beat Napoli 5-0. And as you can see, Champilat got himself a brace in this one. And then we had Novi on the score sheet as well, and Viviani got 2 for himself. So 2-0 draws and then a 5-0 victory over Napoli, I think it's a pretty good, return to form. We then managed to beat Pescara 2-1 away from home. Antonio opened the scoring, and then Michelotti, the left back, managed to get us the second goal. They got on back, but I think we held on pretty well going into full time there. Then came the TM Cup semi-final first leg against Inter. As you can see, we destroyed them 3-0. Very, very dominant home performance. No away goals. Viviani got himself a brace, and Lascoigne was also on the score sheet. We followed that up with a 1-0 away victory against Lazio. Michelotti again on the score sheet, opening the scoring and having the only goal of the game there as well. And then came the first knockout round of the Champions League. We drew not Barcelona, that was last season. Bayern Munich, sorry. I think the first time we've ever versed Bayern Munich in the Champions League, so it was a little bit scary, a little bit daunting. But as you can see, 7 goals in the game. We win 4-3 away from home as well. Vitek got himself a brace. Viviani was on the score sheet. And then Yusufi, the German himself, in the 96th minute. 6 minutes of stoppage time. As you can see, they got their equaliser to bring it to 3-3 in the 91st minute. So the fact that we got a winner 5 minutes after that, ridiculous. But yeah, as you can imagine, I was super happy with that result. We then followed it up with a 2-0 home victory over Parma. Squizzato and Champlat on the score sheet there as well. Good to see him, he's starting to chip in, which is important. We then could only manage a 2-2 draw against AC Milan. Vitek and Novi, as you can see, both getting their goals in the last 10 minutes of the game. So we were 2-0 down. Passiatore, he's been a thorn in our side for a very long time. The world-class Italian striker. And the other guy that scored for Milan, Kalu, I'll show you his profile because he's pretty world-class himself. His stats aren't that good, but as you can see, he's a very, very good player. Bucket loads of pace as well. Yeah. And then came the bad form. Well, you could say that the draw against AC Milan was the start. But yeah, we got battered 4-0 in the second leg of the TIM Cup against Inter. And honestly, the fact that they scored in the 88th minute to get the 4th goal and to win them the tie, essentially, to put them in the final, it was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking. But I guess if you look at it this way, the same thing sort of happened with us against Bayern. So while it was heartbreaking, it was probably, a little bit deserved, I think. And as you can see, the whole team was dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. We then also versed him the next game in the league. And that, we had to follow that up again away from home, which isn't, a positive, especially after a 4-0 loss. And they beat us 1-0. And Britos got himself sent off with 2 yellow cards in the space of 2 minutes. So I literally couldn't even ease him off the tackles, which is really annoying. And suffered our first defeat. No invincibles this season, which I'm disappointed about. I'm really trying to get that, that moniker, but yeah. Anyway, today's lineup is going to be, I think, a full strength lineup, as full strength as we can sort of get at the moment. We have a couple of we have one injury basically. Looking at the squad this season, I've loaned out too many players, and then of course I've sold Kozic and done some silly transfers, but they needed to sort of happen at the same time. But as you can see, having guys like Gilles and Varson, loaning Gilles out was probably a pretty big mistake, I think, purely for the fact that Nesic picked up an injury. He was out for ages, and then all we had was Michelotti, who's played really well, but he's also young. And I don't think he plays too well in the big games. But yeah, anyway. The starting lineup today is going to be Ingvarson in goals, Antonio at right back, Ivan and Squizzato as the 2 centre-backs. Nesic will be the left back today. Like I mentioned, just coming back from injury. I think he played the last game against Inter, just coming back from his injury. So his condition's not great. Then we're going to go with Novi as the defensive midfielder. Viviani will partner Britos. I'm going to go with Britos again. Hopefully, he's been pretty dreadful. I expected so much more. Like, if you look at his profile, he almost looks like a world-class player. Like, the potential is there for him to be that good. But he just doesn't play well for some reason. Anyway, Viviani will partner him, and he's only on 85% condition at the moment, which is bad. But he's too integral to the team, being the captain and essentially being the best midfielder that we have as well. So he's going to have to start today. It's such a big, it's an important game. It really is. Famato's going to be on the left wing. Vitek, season's best performer so far, on the right wing. He's got 14 assists, which is mind-boggling. And then, of course, Champlat will be up front. The bench today is going to be Marino, Vicini, Brajin, Nolascoin, Schmidt, Terenzi, and Albani. Of course, being the Champions League, we can only have the 7-sub bench. Looking at Bayern's team, they've still got Kimmich. Senji's under, very, famous player, especially this year in Football Manager. I feel like a lot of people try and sign him. I wanted to tell the boys that I sort of expect a win, because we are at home. I feel like that's not really too, unexpected or out of the realm of possibility. Being the home team, we're already a goal to the good in terms of the first leg. And we have 4 away goals, so yeah, I don't feel like, I don't know. I mean, should I be expecting to win? I feel like I should. Even if it is Bayern Munich. Vitek, Antonio, Britos. Nice ball to Viviani. Yes, he's so integral. Viviani is so integral to this team. We're 1-0 up. There we go, 5-3 on aggregate. Positive, game so far. Viviani's breaking forward again. Famato can't get his cross into the box. And now it looks like Bayern will be on the counter-attack. And Novi does clear the ball away. And it looks like we're on the counter-attack now. Viviani again bringing the ball forward. Out to Famato. Still can't get his cross in. And he gives the ball away. Okay. Oh, actually, I think it might have been a deflection off of Kimmich. And their guy has literally torn our defence to shreds. Billing has ripped our centre-backs. I mean, Ivan and Squizzato, they looked like Mustafi from Arsenal. Just absolutely no clue what they were doing there. And it's 1-1 going into half-time. Okay, first shot on target, and they get 1 goal. Frustrating, but we're still in the lead, 5-4 on aggregate. I just want to get through. That's all I care about. It is the most important thing, getting into the quarterfinal. And knocking a team like Bayern out, I think would be massive as well. Champlat. Ooh, good save by their goalkeeper there. Come on, boys. Let's try and get the lead here. Vitek. To Viviani. Famato. Famato's not playing too well. Britos. Yeah, I don't know about Britos. I really don't know. I want to, give him a proper chance, which is why I sold Kozic in the first place. Famato, come on, you got to be doing better. He's playing dreadful today. I don't know what it is, but he just doesn't look himself. And that's what I'm talking about. Britos right there. First touch was horrendous. And he just got broken in half, thank God. Antonio with a decent enough shot, just wide though. Vitek is actually on a 6.3 as well. Alrighty. Let's ease Novi off, because he's just picked up a yellow card. And then I think we'll bring Schmidt on. I guess we'll just have to leave it like that. We don't really have many options on the bench. The only other thing, I could maybe move Antonio on the right wing and then bring Brajin on. Schmidt does steal the ball away there. Champlat. Can he cross it in? Yes, he can, but it's cleared away. Britos again. Penalty ref. I think that's a penalty, yeah, there we go. Oh, and it's Britos to take it. You got to be kidding me. Oh, thank God for that. He almost shot it at the keeper's head. That was scary. Obviously, we took Famato off. So, therefore, Britos is going to be taking the penalties. Alright, yeah, it's probably a good idea to take Viviani off. I mean, Terenzi, the San Marinese, basically he's probably the best San Marinese player we have, is coming on the pitch against Bayern Munich in what will be a victorious first knockout round for San Marino Calcio. Honestly, when I drew Bayern, I thought that we were probably going to lose. And I mean, after that first leg, I probably should have... I was going to record an episode for it, but I thought, we're probably just going to get battered. Maybe if we pull off a decent enough result, I'll obviously come back with the second leg, which is what we've done today. And, we've won. I mean, 2-1 victory on the day as well. Like I said, I expected the home victory from my boys. And they've done just that. Napoli have just gotten knocked out as well, which is, not great for Italy, but we're through to the quarterfinals. And, looking forward to who we're going to play next, I guess. Hopefully we get a nice little, the easiest draw would be really, really nice for us. Possibility of getting into the semi-final. 8.5 mil, which is really good for the bank balance. And Viviani, man of the match. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much going to wrap the episode up. Thank you very much for watching. Drop the video a like, it'd be much appreciated. Of course, we're into the quarterfinal of the Champions League once again. Subscribe as well if you haven't, and hit the notification bell. That should keep you up to date with all the episodes coming out in the future. And apart from that, guys, take it easy, and I'll see you next time.